good Thursday evening to you. It is Weather for Weather Geeks time. Time to take a deep dive into our forecast for the weekend. We'll talk about next week. And, of course, we're going to talk about the longer range some in this video. Just a reminder that we'll be doing an update to our winter forecast coming up on Monday, the 6th of December on 21 News at 6 and 11. And right here on Weather for Weather Geeks, we did the initial winter forecast during the first 2 days of November. And over the last few years, we've gotten in the habit of a month later checking in on the forecast, making any changes as needed, and this year is going to be one of those years that we're going to need to make some changes, which will make some people happy, some people maybe not so happy. So if you've been watching Weather Geeks lately, you have a pretty good idea as to what I'm talking about. We'll even talk about some of the longer range thoughts on December again, coming up at the end of this video. In the meantime, today, a changeable sky for the afternoon, times of fairly bright weather, and times in which it was kind of gloomy out there, but it was overall a decent afternoon. It was warm, as expected. It was also rather breezy. We had wind gusts at the Youngstown Warren Airport in Vienna that routinely topped 20 to 25 miles per hour, and we even had a peak gust in the mid-30s right around midday today. So the warmth was accompanied by some breezes, and boy, did we share in the warmth. Look at this, coast-to-coast, wall-to-wall warmth compared to average. It's the second day of December. Dallas was near 80 this afternoon. Denver was in the mid-70s, shattering records. Billings, Montana, 30 degrees. Warmer than the average, with highs in the lower 70s in Montana in early December. And we're not done with this pattern yet. I think before the month is through, there's going to be more pretty exceptional warmth in parts of the lower 48 states. Temperatures as of 7 p.m. Eastern, it's still 55 in Billings, 71 in Dallas, 57 in St. Louis, and we're even hanging on to a relatively balmy 45 here locally, although our cold front has passed through. Compared to 24 hours ago, we're still a little bit warmer than the same time last evening. You'll notice, though, the cooler air is finally on the move in the upper Midwest. 9 degrees cooler than yesterday at this time in Minneapolis. Even Billings is just a shade cooler. And this somewhat cooler air, of course, is coming our way, and the party will come to an end tomorrow. It's kind of back to reality for our Friday. We had a few raindrops in parts of the area earlier on this afternoon, especially south of 224. A spritz or a sprinkle can't be ruled out very early this evening. If you actually look carefully, I'll stop the loop here. And if you look carefully, you can actually see where our cold front is. Let's move that forward. Yeah, look at this little thin line. You can barely make it out. Little return on the radar. That's our actual cold front sinking south through the region early on this evening. All right, we have of local interest tomorrow a state championship game in high school football, of course. This takes place over in Canton as Ursuline tries to win the state championship tomorrow. It's a morning kickoff, I think at like 10:30 or so. And temperatures in Canton and here locally will be mostly in the mid-30s. A little bit of a breeze, but nothing too bad. And as far as precipitation goes, I can't rule out a couple of flurries or sprinkles, especially towards the end of the game by noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock. But a lot of the time it'll just be pretty cloudy and uneventful. So go Irish. Good luck to you tomorrow. This week, little disturbance tomorrow, again, might bring a sprinkle or a flurry or a touch of snow, a little skiff of snow, if you will, to some places tomorrow afternoon, expecting very little, if any, impacts from this. And while Saturday may start with clouds, I think the best part of the weekend will be Saturday afternoon. We're looking for a good deal of sun, which in early December will take any time. It's going to be seasonable, and highs will be in the lower 40s. If you need to string up those holiday lights over the next few days, Saturday afternoon's your best bet, even though any rain on Sunday will probably be confined to the mid and late afternoon. It'll be okay for a lot of the morning, although clouds will increase on Sunday, leading to a chance of showers as we get into the afternoon. So weekend forecast shaping up like this: 42 Saturday, 47 on Sunday. So warmer than average on Sunday, and actually temperatures will keep rising Sunday night. Heading into Monday morning, our cold front looks a little slower than it did a couple of days ago. So now it looks like we'll have a chance to warm up into the low 50s very early Monday morning, right here, before the actual frontal passage, which probably will occur instead of around daybreak, maybe an hour or two after daybreak. And then temperatures will drop like a rock. So we'll go from, say, 53 at 7 a.m. to probably 36 in the afternoon Monday. Our isobars here also packed pretty close together. This is going to be a blustery day and just not a very fun afternoon, even though any flurry activity will be of little consequence. This will be more of a lake effect snow producer up towards Buffalo, Toronto, even western Michigan will do okay. Then let's talk a little bit about the middle of next week. I've been talking about this system middle of the week that we have a lot of question marks. We still do this evening as far as details on precipitation type and exact timing. I have pretty high confidence at this point, though, that this is not likely to be some sort of blockbuster winter storm for us. It just doesn't look that strong and pretty progressive. It'll move along pretty quickly. So what we're looking at here, two sets of modeling. Over here would be the European, and above my head, the current GFS ensemble model. These are the odds of 1 inch or more, or I should say 3 inches or more, worth of snow with that midweek system. This would be mostly late Tuesday night into Wednesday. And as you can see, the odds of 3 inches of snow or more are pretty low. I mean, the European, 10 to 20% in the purple colors. The GFS odds are basically nil, because the GFS has it warming up and raining still. GFS is still kind of an outlier as far as the strength of the warm air involved, but even if you favor those colder models like the European, the odds of more than an inch or two don't look that high right now. Now, we're still 5-6 days away. Much can change. But the current model information is not exactly gung-ho on some sort of blockbuster winter event middle of next week. All right, longer range. It's Thursday evening, so we get a fresh batch of European long-range data, the European model, the ensemble model, if you will, and this goes out 46 days. This is run twice a week. Like with any set of modeling, you take this with a grain of salt the farther out you go. But one thing for sure, boy, if you like winter, if you're rooting for some cold and some snow, especially before Christmas, ooh, it's not looking so good. Now, we have our cold shots over the next week to 10 days. Here's a look at one coming our way, again, with the front Monday into Monday night. Pretty good cold shot. Maybe another brief little cold shot towards the end of next week, and maybe even one more early in the following week. But look at the pattern, though, as we head towards mid-month. This is the 14th, 15th, 16th. We got a big Mondo trough, a full latitude trough, basically, extending from the Arctic Circle all the way down to the west coast of the U.S. With a trough that big and deep downstream, you're going to have a ridge, and so this looks like a borderline, what we call a blowtorch pattern in the eastern U.S. When we talk about blowtorches, that means a winter weather pattern that is pretty darn warm compared to the average. Not that dissimilar from the one we're in right now. This one will be focused a little more east, though. The western U.S. is where the warmth is centered right now. The pattern coming up in the middle of December, the warmth will be centered more in the central and eastern parts of the U.S. And the big question, you know, it's a lock that this is coming. This warm period's coming. The big question is, how long is it going to be around for? And there's lower confidence on that, but tonight's run of the European keeps that ridge locked in all the way through the end of the month. I mean, this is the 30th and 31st right here. You still have a mean trough along the west coast and a mean ridge along the eastern U.S. I'm not sure if this is right at this point, but it has some support of some of our other long-range modeling, and it's certainly a trend we're going to keep an eye out for. In fact, the European, again, this runs out 46 days, all the way through the first half of January, has very little large-scale pattern changes advertised. If this is right, if this ends up being verified, if this ends up verifying, I should say, this is going to be almost a non-winter, because I would be surprised if February turned out to be cold. All of our past data, our analogs, would suggest that February would be a pretty mild month. And if December and early January end up like this model shows, boy, we could run the table with warmth this winter, kind of like we did 10 years ago, back in 2011, 2012. And even a couple years ago, the winter of 2019, 2020 was pretty warm. We could have a winter that is of those flavors, if you will, if some of the model trends that we're seeing really continue and we don't see the pattern back off and turn colder at the end of December and start of January. Again, I have low confidence on the pattern a month from now, but if these warmer ideas are right, this is going to be a mild winter. Again, an update on that winter forecast coming up on Monday. We'll take a look at fresh model data right before we release that forecast update, and we'll bring it to you on Monday. In the meantime, thanks for watching tonight, and I'll see you back here for a weekend forecast update on Friday.